So we've all been there. You need to learn a new process or look up a product update at work. You search for it and you get a static document, a lovely wall of text. You skim it, maybe remember 10% of it and move on. But what if that document could talk back? What if it could build a lesson plan for you, quiz you, and actually teach you based on what you already know? Today, we're looking at Sana's tutor mode. Hi everyone, I'm Mark Dearlove. Welcome to the Learning Stack. I spent the last 30 years in learning and customer education, helping teams build better ways to learn. On this channel, we explore the tools and strategies that are redefining how we acquire knowledge in the workplace. If you want to go deeper into these topics, I also write a weekly newsletter on Substack where I cover everything from the latest learning tech to the intersection of AI and personal growth. There's a link in the description below, so go check it out if you want to stay ahead of the curve. But for now, let's get back to today's focus. Now, before we dive in, I want to be fully transparent with you. Sana is sponsoring this video. However, it's really important to me and to them that this remains an honest review. Sana has had zero editorial control over this video. They haven't given me a script. They haven't set any restrictions on what I can or can't say, and they aren't reviewing this footage before it goes live. They are seeing this for the first time right now, just like you are. So all the opinions, the testing, and the critiques you're about to see are 100% my own. So what is Sana's tutor mode? This isn't a chatbot summarizing text. This is a feature designed to turn any published content into a personalized, multi-step learning journey. I've been playing with this for a while, so I'm going to break down exactly what this tool is, the smart tech stack running under the hood, and then we'll jump into a live demo using some of my own content to see how it handles real-world training materials. Think of it as an on-demand learning companion that lives right inside your learning platform. Usually, when you search for internal company info, you just want an answer. But sometimes you need to actually master a concept, maybe onboarding for a new role or learning a complex product update. And this is where the tutor mode kicks in. Instead of just giving you a link, it's going to generate a customized tutoring experience for you on the fly. It's creating a multi-step learning path, pulling in relevant images to help you visualize concepts, and even creates practical exercises so you aren't just reading, you're actively in the learning experience. It's designed to stop you from wasting time searching so you can focus entirely on your learning. Now, before we get to the demo, I want to explain how it's doing this because the text here is quite interesting. It's not just one AI model potentially hallucinating an answer. Sana actually uses 3 distinct AI agents working together to build your session. First up is the planning agent, and this is basically passing your request. It finds the right sources, vets them, and then asks you clarifying questions to figure out exactly what you need. Once the plan is set, the outline agent then converts it into a chaptered outline. It actually creates a checklist of key concepts and validates the information to flag any potential errors. Finally, the teaching agent takes over. This is the one you're actually going to do the chatting with. It teaches you chapter by chapter, tracks your progress on that checklist, and interacts with you via the chat. This flow from the request to the plan to the outline, and then the outline to teaching is ensuring that the AI stays grounded in the actual source material. All right, that's enough of the theory. Now let's take you into the demo and I can show you exactly how this works using some content that I created and uploaded into Sana previously. So we're going to look at web analytics and we're going to see if the tutor can actually teach me this topic effectively. Okay, let's get into the demo. So right now I'm in the homepage of my Learning Stack implementation of Sana. There are 2 areas you can access the tutor. One is via the search box. The other is just by using the option at the top, Ask or Learn Anything with Sana. So I'm going to use that top option here. Initially, I'm not in AI tutor mode, so I'm in search mode. This enables me to go and get answers to my questions from content that's within my platform. There are a couple of ways that you can get into learning mode, AI tutor mode. The first is to ask your question and then continue through, and eventually you'll get an option to go and create a learning plan. You can toggle that learning plan straight away, so that's what I'm going to do just for the sake of speed. So I'm going to create a learning plan. So I've toggled into learning mode at this point. I can see some previous examples. I can start a new learning plan from scratch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my question, tell it what I want to learn. Okay, so I'm telling it I want to learn about web analytics and GA4 in particular. And it's going to find out any courses that are relevant. it's going to extract the content of those courses and then start personalizing my learning plan for me. This tells me great news. I found a course, Web Analytics 101, which is down in the sources list as well. If I expand that, you've got the sources that it's using. It wants to know about my current experience. So I know analytics pretty well, and I want advanced GA4 skills. So I'm going to select that option. Now it's asking about my learning approach. So do I want hands-on practice and real-world examples? Do I want to deep dive into the theory and concepts? Or do I want to look at the strategic frameworks and optimization tactics? I want to actually practice what I'm learning in here with my Google Analytics account. So I'm going to go for that option. And at this point, it's going to build out my learning plan for me. So it's suggesting that we look at the advanced GA4 implementation, we look at analyzing and interpreting data, and then we look at the optimization measurement strategies. That all sounds good to me, so let's go. So now we're into the next stage of the architecture. This is now doing the planning and creating of my learning experience. It's going to give me some fun facts while I'm waiting. This is going to come back with my learning plan. Okay, so now I'm in my learning plan. And the first thing it's doing for me is giving me a recap. So it's just basically making sure that I understand the fundamentals before I get into the more complex stuff. You can see on the left-hand side, it says, next up is my advanced GA4 event modeling. And at this point, it's asking me, in my own words, why is the shift to an event-based model in GA4 a game changer for advanced analytics? So I need to obviously give it some response at this point. I give it a response that allows me to track the user journey across all aspects of the site. And it's happy with that response. So it's just giving me the recap on the different types of events to make sure I'm good to go. So I'm happy with all that. Let me continue on. Okay, so again, more text information. At this point in time, it is very text heavy. My expectation is that we'll get more imagery as the LLMs and the technology improves. This is going to become much more multimodal. This is a challenge a lot of the AI learning companies are having right now, is how to make learning experiences multimodal through AI. For now, this is giving me some good information. It's explaining to me the foundational concepts for the different types of events. And it tells me to always use the most standardized event type possible. So question, which event type should you use if you want to track a standard action like a user signing up for an account? I would go with an automatically collected. No, I'm wrong. Let's see why I'm wrong. So the correct answer is a recommended event. Let's go to the strategic framework. You can see this is personalizing along the way based on my responses, based on the input that I gave it earlier on, and it's taking me through my learning journey. If I'm not too clear on something, then what I can do, that maybe I don't understand step 3. Can you explain pillar 3 to me in a different way? Okay, so it's given me a good response to that. Choosing the right school board for my business, that makes more sense to me. I can continue. And you can see how this is going to go. I'm going to skip through this and I'm going to jump onto the next module. Let's skip to the next module. Now it's asking me, am I sure? Just a quick note, we're building on the last, so make sure that you know everything that we're going to cover off. If you still like to jump on, then we'll continue. And then we can see on the left-hand side, the next module is going to be the hands-on GA. So we've completed that chapter. We've gone through the deep dive, understanding the foundational stuff, and we're going to jump into the next chapter. We can get a recap at this point again in a different way. I'm just going to skip to the next chapter. And now we're getting into the practical aspects of it. So how do we go through and create a GA4 property? How do we set up a web stream? And again, we're going to go through this question answer phase. So I'm not going to go through an entire scenario here. It would take too long. It would be very dull to watch unless you're really interested in Google Analytics. But you can see this is a different way of learning. Obviously, we've got the full course. And if somebody doesn't want to go through that full course in the manner that we've built it, in the way that we've pre-prescribed, they want to learn it in their own way based on what they already know, based on the level of knowledge and the way they want to go through their learning process, then this gives them an alternative option. Okay, so that was the Sana AI Tutor in action. Now, what really stood out to me during that demo wasn't just that it answered my questions, it was the structure. You could see those 3 agents we talked about working in the background. It didn't just dump information on me, it built me a curriculum. Instead of me skimming a document and forgetting 90% of it, I felt like I was in a learning experience. The difference between searching here and learning is huge. So what's my final verdict? Well, I think the pros, the ability to take existing content within the learning platform, no matter what the format, and build something personalized to the user, whether you're a beginner or an expert, makes it way more useful than a standard keyword search or simple question and response tool. The cons, right now it's quite text heavy, but I expect to see that evolve quite quickly as the new models roll out. I also think it would be even more useful if it was available in some form outside of the learning platform, maybe a Chrome extension that can take context from both learning in the platform and which application the user is in at the point they start a new learning plan session. Ultimately, if your goal is to master a new process or deeply understand a product update without waiting for the learning team to build a formal course for you, this kind of tech is going to become a game changer. But I'm curious to hear from you though. Do you see yourself using an AI tutor like this for onboarding or a similar learning process? Or do you prefer the old school documentation route? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Sana's new AI tutor, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more breakdowns of how tech can change the way we work. Thanks for watching this Learning Stack video, and I'll see you in the next one.